Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. Hello to everyone. It is your pal Cozy here with another stream. Wasn't even planning to stream today, but hey, sometimes you just can't sleep, and sometimes you just get that urge to just do some projects. What's going on, Zero? It's good to see you, man. And today's one of those nights. So, brother, I don't know how long I've had this cup of water, and I just started drinking from it. I took a swig and it tasted, Let's dilute it. Hopefully diluting will help. Oh, that tasted... Okay, whatever. We're fine. I don't even know if I'm a male lady or a gentleman or not. I really don't know what to say. Except, before you figure that out, you should figure out your Java. Your object orientation. Let me put on some music. Today's gonna be a whatever kind of stream. I don't really have a strict plan for what we're doing today. Don't really have a strict plan for what we're doing today. Except for, I just want to do some C programming. Because I've been enjoying it. So, you see this? We're not doing this. We're not doing this. I'm closing out of here. Maybe we'll do some work on Fight and Flight and get this done. My niece gave me some ideas yesterday when she was playing the game, so I kind of want to implement her idea because I think it's actually a good idea. But right now, I really just don't want to do that. I think I just want to do some work on this project. Tonight's gonna be a whatever kind of day, so we can do whatever we want to do. Hey Cozy, glad to see you online. It's been a long week and it's always nice to relax to some good old-fashioned program. It's glad to hear that, Anonymous Panda. I don't know why. I just keep thinking of Anonymous every time I see the word anonymous. Well, strap in, get relaxed, get cozy. We're going to have ourselves a nice little evening of doing some code projects. I guess today we're going to be working on the ASCII-based rendering terminal we had. Last time we worked on this, we got images to display and then we implemented our lighting system. Simple, yet seems to kind of work lighting system. So, I think there's some things we can do here. One thing that needs to be done is I need to get layering happening, which means we have to revisit how we do our array marching or our array tests. So that's on the table. To show what I'm talking about here, let me change this from standard to just standard lit to just standard. We're gonna build. And this should just, nice. So hopefully you're familiar with this icon here. But you may notice that this icon is in a sea of just blankness. And that's not right. There's actually other objects behind it, but you can't see it. Because the way our little ray intersection thing, the way it works is that, like, you have the camera, and let's say you have, this is the camera and these are objects in the scene. So, in fact, let's do this. This is our camera, and let's say we have sprite numero uno here and then another sprite over here, and they're overlapping. So for every single pixel that's going to be rendered on this scene, We shoot away from the camera, and we render whatever it collides with. So this pixel hits this sprite over here, perfect, it's going to render the pixel on that sprite there. And then we send another one here, and it hits this object here, bam, collides, and it renders that. So this is all well and dandy, except what if you have a sprite that has transparent pixels? So let's pretend that this sprite, maybe some of these are opaque, but then other ones are like, let's even make it super simple, fully transparent. Let's have a way to differentiate it. So I'm going to mark transparent pixels with green, just so we can actually see it. Well, all of a sudden, we shouldn't be rendering this pixel, because that's going to be nothing. We should actually get the color of the object behind it. So when you need to reject, there's different ways of going about it. But we might do a simple, just terrible, hacky way of testing this by we collide with this, evaluate the pixel there, and then if it's a transparent pixel, we continue on our test to the next object that collides with this ray and also is opaque. So I think that might be the thing we do today. I think it's gonna be pretty straightforward, honestly. There's some more things we can do. I also want to add some animated sprites. I want to add an animated sprite shader, which I think shouldn't be that crazy. But I think it'll make this go way closer to looking like an actual game. I also may want to make a runtime thing where, like, hey, when we run the application, we actually resize this terminal's character size to be much smaller than it currently is, because I have it set to a large character size, just so I can type and code in a reasonable way. But for rendering pixels on a screen, we can live with that. So yeah, I think we can do that. We can manage it. I think it shouldn't be too bad at all, man. So I think the simplest place to go is going to be into our session data, and we're going to have to modify some stuff. So if I do recall, we have this ray test camera, which is actually iterates through the different displays of the camera, and we do some stuff. We create an array, we do a ray cast, we get the result if it was a hit, and etc, etc. I think we might have to modify this though, because now we need to actually sample the opacity of this. I almost want to have a separate function just for sampling, like for shaders, where shaders have a function for the final fragment, but also a quick function for evaluating that. But I think we might as well just do the color. I don't know. Oh yeah, the Java course guy also has one for C. That sounds like fun. It's kind of weird. I feel like I used to be better at teaching stuff, but now that I've gotten like much more into the weeds and been doing programming for a lot longer now, it's weird because I've kind of forgotten the different hurdles I had when I was learning. And I think in some essence it makes it harder to teach certain ideas. Oh, brother. That's cool to hear, dude. Anyways. Yeah. Thank you, Zero. Yeah, thanks for hitting him with that AI thing. Yeah, so we have some decisions to make here as far as how we go about doing this. How's it going, Kyle? Hi, checking in. Checking into what? We're working on a different project than we've been doing. Oh yeah, speaking of which, I got my whatchamacallit, my vacation time approved. So yeah, now I for sure need to get this other game done within these next 2 weeks, or actually, yeah, 2 weeks I believe. So we're gonna be cranking on this game, man, and getting it done, dude. But today, sometimes you gotta work on projects for fun, dude. You're making, yeah, it's a side project we're doing. It's this ASCII rendering Ray March engine thing. So basically a game that's rendered entirely within your terminal. So if I run it right now, you'll see we have like these images, these game objects here and stuff. We haven't actually added any game logic, we're just building out the foundation. So we have this shader pipeline, we have this ray shooting thing from the camera. We also have lighting, so if I go to main, where else see I can find it? Task out. So yeah, we have light sources, and this is not being rendered through like any graphics API or anything. Like this is purely like characters on your screen. So it's working, but there's some things we need to do to make it a little bit more robust. And we can even do some cooler stuff, like have more fancy lighting that actually utilizes the ray bouncing. But for right now, we just gotta get it working. An American taking vacation time? That's blasphemy. That's hilarious. What's going on, Brahim? Hopefully you're doing well this night. I know, it's crazy, dude. It's crazy. Anywho, but yeah, that's what we're doing, so... Yeah, honestly though, I think I might do a small game in this, but... I think I'm gonna go back to the other actual graphics API version of the engine, and I think we're actually I'm gonna learn. I actually started reading on Vulkan, so we're gonna implement that at some point. Cause I really kind of don't want to hitch my wagon to OpenGL and like get super invested and want to do. Like we're gonna do some more sophisticated things if I decide to rewrite Messy Mansion in my own engine. And if we're gonna go down that route, I want to have maximum control. Even though we're not doing crazy stuff, but like... Yeah, OpenGL is not gonna be the way to deal with that. Life there is just work, I thought. Well, I mean, here's the real con, right? Here's how it works, is that I go on vacation, but I'm gonna spend that vacation programming. So it's not really like I'm on vacation. I don't know, we'll see. Vulkan is cool and optimized. It's a modern graphics API. It's not like OpenGL, which is like an API written in the 90s or 80s or whatever. Before like hardware acceleration existed. Or actually, nah. It's different. It's a modern one. And it's mostly portable. Like most devices support it outside of maybe like Apple devices. And it shows you how the sausage is made too. So I'm happy with that. I'm willing to pay like, because here's the thing, I don't want to go through this whole process of like implementing this whole API for dealing with graphics and then have to rewrite it or be faced with some weird bug because of weirdness in the API. Like, I'd rather just deal with Vulkan and be sad. Yeah, it's just fun. I like using a Roshan. Anyways. So yeah, I have to rethink some things here though. So we have this. Let's see where I can find it. You define this struct called array hit, and at most it just currently contains simple information. Super simple information. But if every ray hit is going to generate like some kind of result color of the object it's colliding with, which I'm assuming it is, we're going to have to modify this to contain that. I'm also thinking about like different ways of architecting this. Because there's different ways of like, I don't know. We're not doing any SIMD stuff or AVX stuff. But I'm kind of thinking about doing that. And the way I have the project set up is not quite the best for it. As far as like object transforms are concerned. I'm still kind of treating it, I'm implementing it as a array of structs, these float threes and stuff, and I think I might try doing that AOSOA stuff. Hit result, which means we have to report the alpha values from BCBMP, and I actually don't know if we've sampled that. What are you making? A ray tracing related? Yeah, it's related to that. We're doing this like ASCII rendering project. If I can do task out. So purely just within the terminal. You can see the logo there a little bit. There's some bugs of the lighting we have to address too that we haven't dealt with yet. So maybe I should do that first, but let's just tackle this, I guess, while we're at it. That's related to the lighting module. So we got this, which means that the way we report results from ray hits are going to be a little bit different. And it kind of means that we have to do less things within this inner loop, because then we're not going to do this whole. Oh. Yeah. Okay, but let me check something. CBMP. Actually, I really don't know much about the bitmap format. Maybe I shouldn't worry too much about lighting. I'm gonna just do a super simple game. So maybe you can say it's not a technical issue, it's a it's a design decision. But yeah, I remember, do we have an open buffer with it? No, we don't. Where are ya? Anything for alpha? Haha! Red, blue, green, alpha. So what about the public APIs? It should be something simple, but there's a deep copy, there's the get width, height. We have this function for get pixel RGB. We also have this function for getting set pixel RGB. That's for rewriting. Be right, be close, throw error. Get by number, get by contents. This is internal implementation details. But yeah, with get pixel RGB, it does not have a alpha parameter, which makes me wonder, why not? Why do you have an R and a G and a B but no alpha? Is it simply something to do with BMPs? I don't know, probably. In which case you might have to use something else for this. Cool. Yep. It's just something to do for the night. I couldn't really sleep. I tried sleeping. Didn't feel like it, so. And we have this get depth. I don't know what it means. I'm not sure, like, is that color depth or is that... No? I don't think that's what it is. And it's weird because there was something here clearly that has copy pixels index.alpha. So can I just directly index into this and just access that property? Why does it not have that? It's all very strange. And this is within a deep copy. So malexit, file byte number, pixel restart, width, height, depth, malloc. It's iterating, copy file byte number, copy. Wait, is it? wait, is it assigning the contents byte by byte? Is it iterating on the bytes? Why not memcopy? Am I confused? When did you start learning? I started learning a long time ago in high or middle school, and I started with Game Maker. I did some basic game dev in SFML, C++, and it felt natural to use classes. What's your opinion on functional versus OOP in game dev? I mean, I really don't know. I don't really care. I do a lot of OOP. I have to deal with both functional and OOP stuff for my day job. As far as game dev, like, it really depends on like where you're dealing with too. Cause like, if you're like a lot of, how should I say this? Like, I feel, regardless of functional OP, these things arise as a way to just wrangle with statefulness, right? And to wrangle with complexity of state. And not only that, but also like to kind of constrain what people can do, because if you constrain what people can do, then you have some set expectations, right? But the thing is, like, a lot of these restrictions are imaginary in some way or another, if that makes sense. At least like an O, I don't know. In a performance sensitive context though, when you're not just like dealing with that, then yeah, both of them are not quite great for different reasons. And I'd rather just deal with the simple idea of, hey, here's some data, and hey, here's a process of like processing sad data, and you're thinking about things in terms of like a pipeline. And like every time I have to do optimize stuff, you end up going down this hole of being like, all right, we're not doing things we're not treating things as like, we're not trying to model an idea of reality and make some kind of philosophical assertion about how the structure is meant to be, and then trying to implement the code to make our desired functionality happen. It's more like, no, we know what the end goals are meant to be. We know what data is going to be inputted, and we know what data must exist and what processes need to happen. So why not just treat it that way? And I'm not gonna dog, like there's value in a lot of this different stuff, but I find myself enjoying just doing going back and doing basic C stuff. It's kind of funny, like even for some stuff I'm doing at work recently, I've basically taken C sharp and then I started writing. For context, like I was doing an optimization on a certain type of file type importer, and before it would like take like 2 minutes to process, or like even more than that. Or some computers it wouldn't even process it; it would just like crash. And I did a rewrite that made it process it within like 3 seconds or less than 3 seconds. And if you look at the code that got merged in for that I wrote, it was like we did C sharp, but then like it's all unsafe, and we use some burst compiler stuff, but even the burst stuff is like all unsafe, and I'm just writing basically C. And then for some of this stuff, I actually wrote some real C code, compiled it into DLL and linked it, and and used C sharp externs to be able to do certain stuff, because like there are certain native C functions. There's certain functions that you need that don't exist in a native context for C sharp. So you end up just having to just use them from a C library and bind them. It's fun. I enjoy that. And it feels part of the reason I like it is because it's actually much more of a pragmatic problem you're solving. Whereas like a lot of other problems within programming isn't necessarily about like, I don't know, like there's a lot of cognitive energy spent not necessarily on actual engineering practical problems, but rather how do you deal with architecting a system that is meant to survive other people using it and implementing it and developing on it, and having them not like be like do bad things to it. And that's what like the biggest thing, right? It feels far less of like a technical constraint and rather like a human constraint. So it's like, it's less fun. Cause like a optimization problem, there's hard numbers there's hard data, and there's a real problem, and there's numerical evidence of like how you've improved upon that problem and made things better. But with like architecture stuff, it's harder to gauge, or sometimes kind of impossible to gauge whether or not is this actually like an objective good architectural decision. Because you don't know until time has passed and significant developments happen, and either the system you've architected has weathered the storm of multiple developers working on it, or it hasn't, or is designed, like it hasn't, like, because if it's, and it can fail for a bunch of different reasons. It could fail because specific affordances weren't used by the developers, or specific things weren't meant to be used by developers but were afforded to them, or it wasn't, it couldn't survive design changes or requirements changes. Or it's cool when you try to architect something to be flexible enough to accommodate any kind of requirement changes, but then like it doesn't accommodate anything. I don't like that. I'm sorry if I'm going like a little, but it's like the truth, dude. It's like that's the side of software engineering that's not fun, because it doesn't really actually feel like engineering. It feels like dealing with human psychology. Why Vim preference, or is it the only one installed? No, I have Writer and I have a C-line and I have a bunch of other things installed. It's fun using Vim. Yeah, like I have C-line for C projects. I think it's in another buffer actually, now that I think about it, somewhere here I think. I have Writer for Unity projects. It's just nice to use something simple, something limited, something that actually requires you to know your project and be able to do changes to it, instead of hand holding you and spoon feeding you everything. It gives you this very different intimate understanding of your code base that I don't know, that sometimes IDEs kind of allow you to fall into neglect. And not neglect. Doesn't force you to exercise that part of your brain that much. So alpha's clearly a value here. We're setting these values. We're indexing to pixel index. So y is with depth by contacts. Copy and signed. Where is these? If you get pixel. Does it not? Can I? Let's see if this works. It's kind of strange that it wouldn't include this, but like based off of what I'm seeing over there, it seems like I should be able to do this. And you know what? Since we have this library already in our buffer, we can just modify it to be what we want it to be. Or in fact, we can do RGBA and see if that works, and then we can just simply add another unsigned char. And then we're literally going to just get the index here. And I'm just going to assume that and what they're using is just alpha, right? I'm pretty sure they just said alpha. So I'm just going to assume that it's alpha. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but yeah. It's weird that they don't have that function available for some reason. Why am I here? I'm not sure, dude. It just appears to you. What do you think about starting from Python? I don't... Oh, brother. See, I have very strong opinions, but like for me, I think the best way to start is with C. Learn some basic stuff there, right? And then move on to something that's more relevant to what you want to do, right? That's kind of what I did. I started with C++, learned the basics there, like if, for loops, whatever, right? Primitives. And then like I moved to GameMaker because that's more relevant to what I want to do, which is make games. But I you know, I learned some basic foundations, and but yeah, the reason I don't, because people, they always recommend you learn Python, right? Or maybe JavaScript, like languages that aren't strongly typed but are instead dynamically typed. And it's great and fun because you get to get something happening very quickly. You get that instant kind of gratification. But like, you don't learn some fundamental things, and it's going to make more friction if you ever move to another language, right? And even then, like, you don't, there's certain ideas that you're not going to have until like you try a different language that does have some types. But that's just me, man. I'm kind of biased. But I think dynamically, especially if you start like working on bigger projects, it just becomes a big pain in your butt. And I remember so many of the pain points I had as a kid learning how to program. I didn't realize, but now in retrospect, I realize, oh, all those times where projects died, or like I couldn't sustain a project, it was because I was working in a language that didn't have any types, and therefore didn't have like good guardrails for certain things. So you wasted like time debugging problems that wouldn't have existed in another language, in a statically typed language, or at the very least would have been super fast to fix in those languages by comparison. Okay, so we're gonna have this here. I'm gonna just try out our new function and see if this works to my liking, and I'm gonna just assume that it is. So, and now let me go to my shaders, because now we're going to use this new function, because I think it's actually much more better. It should be up here, yep. And now we're going to create an unsigned A with height, sample coordinate, yeah. Get pixel RGB, sample coordinate. Now we're going to change this to RGB A, pass in the reference to A, and now instead of a 1, we're going to pass in A. Something simple, but critically required. Ah, misspelled pixels. Whoopsie. Oopsie daisy. And it compiles. Rip the Game Maker era, yeah. Oh my goodness, yeah. Good to see you at this time of night. Yeah, Game Maker's done. We're gonna write our own Game Maker. A better Game Maker, a statically typed Game Maker. That's funny, guys. Yeah, see, you're like the only person. That's funny because you have a glimpse into someone none of these. How many people have gone through this channel and they don't realize how much of a Game Maker guy I was? How much of a Game Maker stan I was? And now I'm like it's okay, not the #1 hater, but I can never use it again. Can literally never use it. I've had such better times writing my own engines than using Game Maker. I'd rather get the Vulcan triangle going than making the character move in Game Maker. With Unreal for that. I still beef with Unreal. I'd rather point people to Game Maker than Unreal. If someone said, hey dude, I want to make a 3D AAA title game, I'll say, you know what you should do? You should go to Game Maker and learn how to write your own 3D rendering pipeline in Game Maker rather than use Unreal. Cause at least in Game Maker you wouldn't have that dumb temporal smear that happens in every single frame from using a G-buffered engine with deferred rendering. Oh my god, don't. Oh, brother. I'm an Unreal simp. I'm a fake. Don't worry. It's okay, though. It's okay. My beef with Unreal people is not really with the artists. Actually, no. It's with all of you. You're all complicit in this. You're all complicit in this. There's an Unreal convention happening somewhat near me. Tragic. Heartbreaking. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. Like, there's this channel I've grown to really love, and it's just cause this I feel I feel so out of it's great. I think it's called Threat Interactive. I don't know if you guys know that. If you like seeing like great Unreal slander, I absolutely love this guy. This guy is amazing. I absolutely love this dude. So yeah, if you want some good Unreal slander, it's not slander, it's Unreal truths. Let's be real. Unreal had it coming. They deserve this. Check out this guy. It was in Orlando last year. I didn't even know. Oh my goodness. Never seen this. You might have to. Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's cool. It's like, and then there's some ideas I've gotten from here. There's some research papers I saw that made me wanted to do some more rendering stuff. Like this whole, like we're going through this whole pipeline of different projects and variations on engines, but like I do want to try implementing different types of models for light rendering, because we have our own lighting pipeline in Messy Mansion, but it's a very simple one, and it's doing that and it's intentionally simple, but there's other techniques you can do to get, if you're actually trying to pursue more realism. And I'd have to implement it a little bit differently, but it would be cool to try that out, because it's not something that's regularly done, and it's it'd make a distinctive look to your game. Hey, what's going on, Oliver Close Off? Do you watch Acerola on YouTube? I don't know who Acerola is. Who's this guy? Who is this person, Zia? No. Who is this person? What do they do? Indie doesn't really mean independent. 1 year of Godot. That's another engine I slender. Terrain generation. Oh, wait a second. Was he talking about let me see. Is he talking about how you don't use like a height map for it, but instead like you have this different, you use like the normals on the surface to propagate changes? I think I might have seen it, because like you get different characteristics in terrain when you do it in that kind of way, versus using simple height map generated mesh topology from essentially textured data. Actually, I don't think it was this guy. It was a different video. He has some old graphic stuff. Older stuff I think you'd like more. Okay, bet. You might have to link or find me one. I'll see though. Okay, I made Minecraft with shaders. Splendid. How do games render so much grass? Modern foliage rendering. That would be cool, actually. I need to do that. Are you using geometry shader passes? Or not shader, but geometry functions. GPU algorithms. Oh, you're actually talking about...
That is, there's no gaps in the buffer, so we can't simply just mark grass positions as outside the...
Okay, we got buffers. I should probably like sit down and actually watch this. Ah. So that's for dealing with the culling. Interesting. So it's kind of multi-layered, because he's talking about different components of it. Like this is kind of related to culling. I imagine there's got to be something about placement, right? I know Casey Moratori had a video breaking down the blue noise algorithm he did for the Witness's grass generation or foliage generation. I was like, we appreciate the gray unity. Like, have you guys seen this at all? It's been so long, dude. I'm sorry, I derailed. Go back. Undo. Nope. We were here already. I mean, today's not a focus night. Today's like a whatever kind of night. Ever done some Linux kernel module programming? Nah, I haven't gone that hard yet. The first thing that struck me was the functions share the same global namespace. Not sure why the design decision was made like that. I mean, that's kind of a C thing, isn't that? Like, the whole thing with C is that there's no namespacing. Everything is a global function, so you end up having very verbose function names because it's like, you know, you only got one namespace, guys. As it should be. Okay, no, I'm not gonna lie. Like, if there's some things, I'm writing pure C right now, but that's just for fun. But I think for actual large projects or projects that are gonna be long term, here's my, like, I'm probably gonna use C++, but it's just gonna be like a set of few features, and then I'm gonna treat it like C. And it'd be like, I think the 3 things I would have is like maybe, so operator overloading, you gotta have that. I like being able to do vector math with like an actual plus and minus symbol on there. That's kind of handy. I think I'd still probably do some member functions on occasion here and there. Or at the very least, function overloading. Oh my goodness, dude, I need function overloading. We have gone through so many weird naming stuff just to get some function overloading, dude. And then some namespacing just to keep things kind of safe. I think these 2 things alone will help significantly. But yes, namespacing is kind of needed. Except for doing linear algebra. Dude, to the guy asking about global namespaces, tell him to check out object-oriented programming in ANSYS. Complex composition in classes, the standard library with maps, hash, and standard vectors. Yeah, I mean, you can make... It's funny because people say like, oh, you can't do object-oriented stuff in C, but you can recreate a lot of object-oriented stuff in C. It looks a little bit different, but you can still do it. Like, you have function pointers, which can emulate a lot of the same stuff there. You have void pointers, you can interpret stuff. I think the thing you do end up relying upon a lot is enums, though, to understand type information, because you don't have any kind of, like, you know, reflection or whatever. But who cares, man? People want to be safe. That's why they use Rust. Nah, dog. I just want to have a void. This is what peak looks like, alright? look at this shader, alright? We take in a void pointer, and we just do a raw cast. That's all you need, dude. Or in Rivendun for our undo redo stack. Which when you said undo see, when you said undo, that's a very trigger word for me, okay? Because people don't realize how hard undo redo is to implement, especially on large complex systems. And until you've actually had to do this in multiple different projects, you don't know the pain that undo redo can cause. But for Rivendun, that's what we do too, man. Like, brother, you just at least in C, just do a void pointer, man, and cast it to whatever you want it to be. Throw in a function pointer, bam, you have your strategy pattern. And C, especially if you use void pointers and macros. Yeah, exactly, dude, exactly. You can even take advantage of CMake to do proper hidings and use a file as a base object. Well, here's the thing, Dan. Here's the thing. The way I program C is kind of deranged and unhinged, and like, I don't think I'm ever going to actually contribute to an open source project in C because I like architecting my projects in a very particular way. I don't want to have, like, hot take, but who here actually likes having a .c file and a .h file? I don't. Who here wants to use another language to build your application? I don't want to use CMake. I just want to have a thing that you just do build and it compiles. So like, I just use a bunch of single header files, and then we bind everything into one compilation unit. Right here, dog. Right here. We just compile. All we do, the build script. The build script is simply. It's simply this. We just compile main. And everything is just compiled as one compilation unit. Bam. No, you don't have to worry about, you know, all these other hoopla or whatever. You just do the thing, man. Just, brother, you just do the thing. Now, you kind of have to architect things in a very specific way. So it's not a free thing you're getting. But hey, man, I like just having a simple build function. I don't want to have to rely on IDE to do the magic thing to make the build thing. I had a whole thing today at work with trying to use the MSVC toolchain. And I was like, you know, eventually I was like, you know, screw it, we're just going to use GCC. Life is going to be good. Architect is a strong word. Yeah, you're right. It's not strong enough, though. It's more like envisioned. It's more like it came to me in a dream. Unbelievable. Shake my head. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's peak. You know, you just can't comprehend. People can't comprehend. They don't understand the peak that is this architecture. MSVC is cancer. Better to use MingW on Windows. It is. That's what I'm doing. Okay. This is such a niche specific problem. Not niche. But if I were to ask you guys, I'm going to describe a problem to you guys, and in raise of hands, tell me if you've encountered this, okay? It's super relatable. It's a super relatable problem. So let's say one day you're in the land of Windows. Gross, ill. But unfortunately, I have to use Windows to pay my bills, right? And you have to make a DLL of a C project. Okay. That's a normal thing people can do. I mean, it's weird you're using C, but whatever. You do your C. And let's say within this DLL written in C or this C project that's going to be compiled to a DLL, you have some kind of function that takes in it doesn't even have to take, you don't have to worry about taking in, right? Actually, yeah. That takes in, let's say, a integer called length. Oh my goodness. And then within this function, you decide, hey, you know what? What I really want to do, I want to have an array of chars of, and we're going to call it buffer, of length. You know, we take an input integer, and then we decide to, stack alloc this buffer, and then you decide to do some processing. And you compile this with GCC, and life is good. Everyone is happy. Tulips are blossoming. There's world peace. But then you compile this with MSVC, and it says, error at line 88. Expected a const expression. Cannot have variable length array. I'm sorry, what? Why are you mad at me? GCC compiled it just fine. Why won't you? And you go to Google, and then you eventually find a whole Stack Overflow thread of people being like, oh yeah, MSVC does not support this. Now, Lily in the Discord posted some great information as to the technical reasons why that's the case. But regardless, It's still the case. It's still the case that for some reason you can't do that. So you know what you have to do in MSVC? You have to stack alloc. That's right, class. You have to malloc. You have to malloc this length times size of char. You have to malloc this, and then you're gonna go through the function. And eventually, you're gonna have to free your buffer pointer, which, by the way, this is no longer an array; it's a char pointer. You have to free it, and all of a sudden, this library that's meant to be a very fast native thing gets a performance penalty because you have to malloc stuff. So yeah, raise your hands, guys. Have you encountered this? You know, 'cause this is a very frequent problem. Like this, you go to Starbucks in the morning, and you know, try to compile your DLL with MSVC, and this happens, right? You said you prefer making game. Is there any you've made coding? Oh yeah, thank you, Terrell. Yeah, that's my link. You have to recreate everything in Rust. No. Vulnerabilities still happen in Rust. But yeah, Roshan, as far as operator overloading, I've used it quite a lot, actually. Here's the thing, though, right? Because anything could be an operator in C++. In C#, you can overload the bracket operator. And voila, now you have, like, you can have a struct that you can overload. You can index into with something. Like, I can make a string struct and make it, I don't know. Actually, a more applicable thing. I was working on a game that has, like, this dungeon, this procedurally generated dungeon. In fact, we have it in the Discord. Let me pull it up real quick. 1 second, guys. Also, we have someone in the Discord. What's going on? What's going on, Vegox? Welcome to the Discord. Make yourself cozy here. In fact, this is going to be like one of the earliest dev updates we did here. This is back during the Crimson Crown days. You have to go up for a while. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Alright, we're here. Yeah, early days. So I implemented this procedural dungeon generator thing, right? And there's a class there that represented a room. And you know, I want to be able to do a for loop and iterate through all the adjacent rooms that are connected to this room. So, in that instance, it made sense for me to like make a class room and then have it do, I forgot what I did. I forgot how you do operator overloads. I think it's just operator. And then a type of parameter it takes in, which in this case, add an enum for like left, right, or whatever. Or really you can index with the int. And that's how I was doing. Int value, and then do whatever you want, so that eventually somewhere else in the code you can just have a room and then iterate through every single adjacent room that are connected to it. And that's a cool usage of an operator overload. There's a lot of fun things you can do with it. But yeah, it's mostly just there. Usually use it for math. Also, what's going on? Hey, we have some more people joining. Welcome to the Discord, Tendo9. Glad to have you. Make yourself comfortable. C# is an amazingly designed language. C++ generics, AGA templates are cheap knockoff. Yeah, they're whack, but like, did C++ do templates first, or was it I'm pretty sure C++ introduced the idea before C#. Am I right? I don't actually know. But yeah, Lily in the Off Topics channel posted a great thing about why MSVC does the things that they do, which I'm gonna read at some point. But yeah, C# is cool. I love its affordances for native stuff too. It's very easy to do like DLL stuff. I don't know. It's pretty nice. And even then, they have some nice things like you can do stack allocs manually, so you can specify, hey, we're doing a stack allocation. We're gonna go fast, ladies and gentlemen. Buckle up, buckaroo. So that's pretty cool. And Unity had a cool idea with burst, but now it's kind of falling into... There's a... I'm sorry, like, this is me turning just, like, ragging about stuff that's happened, that I've encountered. I don't know how many of you guys even done burst, used burst compiler in Unity, but, like... Apparently, okay, you're not gonna talk about it, because I don't think anyone actually... That sent me sex notifications. Whoopsie. But yeah, like, it's, there's some dumb stuff I've encountered, and it's due to, Unity just giving up on burst. It feels like, or it seems like. Well, I was supposed to be coding something, wasn't I? We're session data, and I was gonna do the ray tracing stuff, right? Yeah, we're doing the ray hit collision stuff, and then... Yeah, and we have this whole ray stuff going on. Did I build? No, not build. Yeah, there we go. It did build, and if I do task run, yeah, it runs correctly. Cool. So now we can do our actual implementation. Hello, please say something. I have said something, jobless. So there you go, my friend. Where are you from? I reserve. I keep that information tied in my pocket. Tied in my pocket. But I'm from the US, let's say that. Oh, what's going on, Illusion Hawk? C# or C++? We're doing C today. And we're doing some beautiful C. The trick, alloc a bunch of memory at initialize and use it to reuse it in the program. Yeah, you, like have a memory, like arena or pool or whatever. I just don't want to have to do that for a DLL. And then even then, like even if you do that, it still doesn't work in a performance critical context, because like you still have to go, like it's faster to alloc a stack, and it's fast to read from a stack compared to like going to some place in the heap, right? That's why I said screw it, we're just doing GCC instead of using MVSC or MSVC. Not to mention the pain of trying to get that working, dude. Oh, Dot Dungeon? What happened to Dot Dungeon? New Discord member. Wait, what? Wait, what happened? Who, what, and what Wait, why'd you bring up Dot Dungeon? That's just a blast from the past. Okay, let me actually do something. I feel like I'm yapping so much today. But you got me monologuing, man. You got me monologuing. And we were doing stuff, right? Yes, we were. Because I need to move this code here into our little ray tracer. So we do raycast, we do whatever test. We're gonna make this generalized for we're gonna have a day where we do some linear algebra on stream, like some matrix math. It'll be fun. We'll do because I'm gonna start, we have the basic idea of what a transform, but right now it's just position and scale, and there's no orientation, and we're just doing a very simplified conversion from a world space sample to like a, but there's if we start adding an actual transformation matrix as opposed to just components, there's gonna be some stuff to wrestle with. But I think it'll be fun to be able to have arbitrary orientation, or at the very least arbitrary like Z rotation for objects. But the 3D stuff can be kind of scary. I mean, it's not that crazy, but you still have to do it. So what are we doing? Right. So we close this object. So this is the conditions for if a valid collision has been made. And I believe this is just iterating through all the objects. Let's find the one with the closest Z, which is kind of terrible. But we'll do like an actual acceleration structure at some point. We're just doing a very Neanderthal implementation, just to see how this works. And closed object, hit point, candidate center, candidate scale. So I think we actually have to, like, once we get here, am I gonna recursively do this? That sounds terrible. Hooray, but it's one per pixel, and we're dealing a very low resolution pixel, so it's actually probably just fine. Seems scuffed though. Those messages were from your explanation of the dungeon generator and from the last person that joined the Discord. Oh, that was from Crimson Crown. Yeah, Dot Dungeon didn't do that cool level generation at that point. Coding was already replaced in 2018. You solve problems with computer infrastructure these days. Tensor math, baby, yeah. Hey, what's going on, Kai? It's good to see you, man. I feel, yeah. Thank you guys for sitting through my little ramblings, dude. I'm not sure how much of, like, what I say makes sense, or it just seems like I'm just a deranged dude. But you're just humoring me, and I appreciate it. Because you don't make me feel like a deranged dude. But I'm kind of curious as to how you guys see it. Right, we do this. Closest position. We have to add another condition. Are we just gonna do the... Oh, this is gonna be such a scuffed way of doing things, but... whatever. We're gonna just do it. So we're gonna yoink. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna go to... We're gonna go to where... Raycast... Right here. So you have to get the object at some point. The cool thing is the index, because we're iterating on objects, right? Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are, baby. So we can actually... How many times are we indexing the objects directly? There's got to be a way we can unroll this into like a more... We'll do this later. I just want to make this work, and then we'll figure out... We'll do another implementation. I'm probably going to burn all this code down and rewrite stuff. That's usually the best way to, like, improve. So we have... Iterating on I... We're not we're iterating on I, so that'll be that. In fact, I could really just do... Everywhere that uses object, we can just replace with the I. And then we're going to get our color results from here. And I actually wonder if the shaders are actually reporting the true alpha value, or if we're substituting it with just one right now, because we didn't really care at that time. Standard lit. Color, weight, add to F3. Do the composite, and then return. Right, here we go. So yeah, we're gonna report the true alpha here. And where's unlit? F standard. Yeah, you're gonna just... Oh, perfect. You're reporting the true result of BMP sample, which should include the alpha. Perfect. So we go back here. We do this color result. And then we can just do result dot A, I believe. Where is... Do I have color? Yes, I do. Yes, and it's just A. Beautiful. So... Or is like less than 2.5 or something, or 1. We can keep it a super simple big threshold for it. Or rather, like, is opaque, but would be a better word. I'm pretty sure that's how you spell it, but whatever. Okay, cool. So we do this, and then finally we need to store the results. We have the result color actually here. So we just create a new thing here, put result there, and that should... Oh, there's gonna be a name collision, isn't there? Because result is the ray hit target. So we need to change this color result. Okay, beautiful. And we're gonna set you to be color result. Beautiful. Okay, and we're just simply gonna build it. Oh, fantastic. At session data 166. What's happening here? What have I done wrong? So shaders. Right. Well, isn't this quite the chicken and egg problem? Because this requires a hit result, which means that the calculation for the generated hit actually has to happen up front and not only on a success. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Okay. That's what we need to do. That's simply just what needs to happen. Hey, what's going on, Syndicate? Just swung by to say goodnight. God bless. God bless, Syndicate. Thanks for popping in. Don't you use Bool? I'm not using the Bool. I'm not using the Bool library, so we're just using... Actually, I should be using Char a byte, but whatever. How's my favorite Clanker hater doing, guy? I actually really like that. I like that moniker. A Clanker hater. Yeah, I'm about that. I'm doing great, Kai. Hopefully you're doing well too, man. Durian ranged dude. It's good to see you, Terrell. Hope you're doing well, dude. Never use scons, but anything but CMake for me, please. Also, Windows is an error. I concur with that take. Yep, Senkai. Windows is Here, there's a fun comment that I encountered. But one of the things, like, 'cause it's fun. You know how you play... If you ever played a Souls game, you know about the notes, right? And how you can see where people have previously died before you. And going through these different threads for various issues on setting up Microsoft's compiler, it's like going. It's like seeing all these different lost souls that have died previous to me. And there's one I saw that was like, yeah, it didn't. Windows didn't used to be this bad. They used to be pretty easy to just manually like just access the compiler and do CLI stuff. And it like is it? He's like, is this a passive aggressive thing to force people onto .NET or something? And I was like, oh my god, I'm not alone. It shouldn't be this hard to set up stuff. I'm not crazy. I feel like everyone wants me to think I'm crazy, but I'm not. It's fine. Okay. What are we doing here? So we have this going on. What do we have going on here? We have the OS position, or not OS, we have the position min-max, because we're just doing quads on our world. We have the color results of said, well, that's what we want to do, but we require this guy here. And this is only done through these calculations for candidate. So I might have to actually yoink object. Actually no, this is largely gonna say the way it is. Where am I calculating the U? Oh, it's down here. And then we assign it after the fact. I see now. You're right. Right. I understand now. Actually, we should only do this if... Actually, are we... Because if none of these conditions are met... The way I'm structuring this loop is a little bit odd. So I think ideally, you do this else and continue on, and there would be no need to... Or I guess that's why, because this is the end of the loop right here. So there's no need to do. But you know what? Maybe I should do like the inverse, where like we just check for a negative condition, and then we do early returns, and then the final result is reserved for potential candidates for collision. And then like this will be a condition to check to see if you should continue on your way in the loop, because there's going to be other tests we can do beyond this. So we can actually have like the this whole shader test and opaque test happen after this condition, and then we can just do like a if is transparent. And we can change this back to being what it was originally. Splendid. And then this kind of makes sense, the processes we're doing then. Windows Millennial signal its death as a usable OS. What is Windows Millennial? What's going on, Senkai? You moved. I'm fine, bro. Always good to see you. The typing sound puts me to sleep after a long week. I'm glad to hear that, dude. Then how about we just do some more typing and get ya all tuckered out, brother? Or I guess you're already tuckered out. Transparent. And then here's where we have to do the business of like calculate. So we do that, and then we calculate the UV from this. The one thing I would say is I kind of wish C had a inline, like a simple way to do inlines. Like I guess I could do a define and write this there, but and I guess since I'm using Vim, I'm not actually relying on code highlighting that much, but stale. I like to pretend that I'm gonna write some sensible software at some point. Right here. And is this using anything? Nope, it's just using exactly what it is. We have an assigned candidate center. So I actually want to calculate. Actually, do we calculate that at all? We calculate the min, max, and stuff like that. But I don't believe we've calculated or assigned candidate center at all. So we should probably just use position or object opos and o scale. So what? Actually, what am I doing? I've already gone through the process, whatever. It's fine. Okay, and then we have this hit point that's defined somewhere. It's done here. And I believe hit point is calculated. Right, and the below here. See the initial collision test. Also, we need to invert this because it needs to be. And these need to become ors. So if any of these conditions are true, it's gonna be. We're gonna be. That's gonna be a disqualify. That's a red flag. Izuhu or Izuhu Windows 2000. Oh, gotcha. I meant Cozy. You probably did not have to deal with it young enough. Yeah, I'm young enough where I didn't really. I think the earliest I used was like XP. That was my first OS I worked with. Well, this is a different setup. Last time I was on your stream, I didn't see the Yamaha HS on your desk. Are they new? No, I've had them for a while. I think I moved them off stream. But yeah, they've been here for a while. Sometimes, I think I was doing the green screen a lot, so I got rid of that one. The camera used to be over there, not here. So I moved this one to the side and then put some tarp. But I started doing some music production again, and if I'm gonna do some music production, I gotta be hearing through my little Yamahas. So it is what happened. It is what happened. So what we got going on here? Yeah, I don't need this. Oh, I have things in a weird place. Yeah, I did this UV calculation in the wrong spot. you're supposed to be happening after here, where you do the O and then whatnot. What I do need to find though is how is nope, my mic fell down. Oh, nice. What DAW do you use? I use I'm a kind of a glue sniffer. I use FL Studio. Actually, no, I'm not gonna derange that. You can do some cool stuff with FL Studio. I think I'm doing some pretty cool stuff, but I will say there is some rough patches to using FL Studio, and it also kind of sucks because I can't get FL running on Linux. So I have to actually use my Windows machine. Like right now, let me show you what we got going on here. So to do the things that I'm doing right now, I got it. Where are we on? Are we on 8? Which workstation are we on? Okay, it's 1. Or workspace. So 1 second. Come on, man. Why is this being so problematic? I know why. It's because, yeah, reasons. Okay, here we go. So this is my window machine that I remote into to be able to do some music stuff. And this is how I'm processing my audio right now. We have this whole like signal chain to get things to work the way we're working. Yeah, some people complain about the CRT sound in the background, but like this is what you could be having right now if I didn't do what I'm currently doing. Yeah. Yeah. You like that? Didn't think so. So, be happy with what you got, alright? Be happy with what you got, man. But yeah, and then we have our FL and then, you know, a load of projects, and this is how I live my life. I don't actually produce on here. Actually, I can't use this because that little ringing appears in the recordings and it's bad. And I have to try to fix it or re-record it. And it's just not good, man. It's not a good time. It's a bad time. I am programming. I was just showing off the audio stuff, Mr. Araujo. Yeah, I try my best there, buddy. You gotta help me out there with that. Yeah, fancy UI. Yeah, the fancy Windows desktop experience. Oh, this is a chunky project. Yeah, we're not gonna... I don't know why I loaded it up. This is for the next game after the current one we're working on. So... yeah. This is how I live my life. This is how we do audio production. I just remote into my laptop because I don't want to actually use it. But FL's good. FL's nice. I like FL. FL's pretty neat. I like it. I've gotten accustomed to it. And also, if I were to try to move to another DAW, I think so many things are going to just die and break as a result of that. So we are unfortunately very much stuck in FL land for the time being. And maybe one day Dobby will be free, but until then, no siree. We stay in our hole, in our hidey hole. Maybe do an audio production stream. I would join in that too. I've done them in the past. Maybe I'll bring them back. Actually, that song I opened up, we started live on stream, and it's gone like significantly changes. It sounds very different now. And I did a little bit of singing. I'm doing a little singapoo, guys. I'm doing some vocals. Actually, I'll show you a little snippet, and then I'll go back to programming like a good audio boy or a good coding boy. 1 second. Yeah, I think it's gonna be like trailer music for the next game, because of course that's the first thing you start doing when you make a game is you make the trailer music, and then you figure out what you're designing after the fact. That's how you do things, dude. Oh yeah, look at this. Look at that. That's peak production. Where are we right now? Oh, here's a little taste. Yeah, let's go there. That's loud. Where can I lower it down so you guys don't go deaf? Yeah, we'll do this a little bit more. A little sampler, if you will. Alright, here you go. Oh, I need to fix stuff. That doesn't sound good. That's the only bit you get, guys. Dude, it's so laggy. Yeah. I need to fix the brass, though, dude. The brass doesn't work. But yeah, dude. Here's the thing. Here's the problem, right? Because I'm not sure if we're going to use that for Messy Mansion. And call that... Because the next game, or this game is going to be... The name of it's going to be Petrichor. And that's part of the theme for it, right? And I think I might rename Messy Mansion to that, because I think the themes of the game idea would fit better there. But maybe the little ASCII game we're doing could be the place where we use this, and then maybe adapt it to Messy Mansion in a more broader way. I don't know, dude. I'm still deciding. That's maybe what the vacation's going to be for. That's what the vacation's going to be for. Yeah, I did the voice layering. Yeah, I did the voice layering. A bunch of different layers of me just doing some ASMR sounds on there. Yeah, it was on Chimera. Where are you going on vacation? Probably here at my room at home and working on more. I don't know. I'm still debating. Probably gonna do some road trips and stuff. I think instead of doing one big trip, I'm gonna do a bunch of small trips to different places, because sometimes we don't visit the cool things in our area, you know? Did you consider using Mac OS? Nah, I refuse. Okay, actually, I'm not gonna lie. I consider it because the interface I'm using is meant for Mac, but I can't bring myself to do that. Or maybe I will. I don't know. Okay. Right, we're relying on this hit point thing. And hit point is gonna be a candidate. So we can't be using that. So let me find where we actually calculate it. Dude, where are you? Where do I where do I calculate hit point? Okay, here is where it's calculated. Position X, position 0, position Y, Y scale. Okay, cool. I see you now. So we'll just do... Oh, so this is not quite right if we're going to do the actual... Because hit point is going to be on the surface of the object, whereas object position.z is like the center of the object, so that's actually not a good comparison. I fell asleep, then woke up again, and I see I have been summoned. Long live the gym. Yup, Syndicate, get the gym. Hey, you missed it, Syndicate. We did some... I showed some audio stuff. I went from Windows to Mac. Oh man, it's so good. I don't have to get every single driver for whatever mixer I'm using with Mac. It just plug and play. That's the design of it. Also, Chimera. I'm sorry I didn't acknowledge you, but hello. It's good to see you, Chimera, as always. Yeah, we love y'all too. And I hope the best for y'all, Chimera. On this nice Friday evening or Saturday morning. Yeah, for music production, like, Mac is the way to go, sadly. Euro? Yeah. A bunch of vocal stuff too, Syndicate. Crazy, I know. But alas, the time has passed. And we're in coding world now. You have a good one, Illusion Hawked. It's already copyrighted? I mean, it is copyrighted inherently. Right. Yes, I don't want to use that term. This would be like... candidate hit. Oh, I should just use that term still. Instead of all of this jumbled. Because now I have to go from... No, this is actually still correct. All good. Day 2 of asking about color scheme. Oh, Charon? Yeah, here you go, man. I'm sorry if I didn't answer it the first time. This is my own one. Sadly on GitHub, but I'll move it to Codeberg eventually. Once I get off my butt. Can I just search for... Yeah, here's me. Yeah, I've mostly switched to Codeberg, so I don't use this stuff at all. But I do have some stuff that people use here. Terminal themes. I only have one in there. And this is the theme I use. So you can just find the repo. It has my terminal theme, and you can use it in anything that supports the terminal sexy format. And you're good to go. You're good to go. So hopefully you have been answered and satisfied with said answer. And if not, I don't know what to tell you, brother. I don't know what to say. What is this? Raycast position. Why did I call it position? This should be just origin. That's stupid. I'm dumb for doing that. We're gonna do this now. We're gonna fix it. We're gonna rectify this issue. We're gonna rectify it. And hopefully it's just a simple fix. And we should just be good. Okay, now it's origin, and now this makes more sense. Of course, Charon. Or Charon. And I'm making a ASCII ray marched renderer for a larger kind of game engine structure. And I'm coding on, I don't know, like, what do you mean? Like, I'm using Linux and stuff. And there's a couple other commands, though. That should hopefully answer any questions or at least most questions that are answered frequently. Okay, so you're using origin now. Now we have the correct terminology. And the only thing that's varying is Z and scale. Which is fine. Which is fine. I am cool with that. So, cool. This is not right though, because we're using, we shouldn't be using hit points. Because that's assuming we should be using the current. Yeah, we should be using candidate hit. I think that should be correct. That feels correct. And then candidate scale, no, we're using the current one. See, this is bad. Because we're going to have this struct. But I guess test is fine, actually. And we're going to produce this after the fact, right? Because we're calculating all the information that's needed to populate our test hit with the correct information that we desire, that we seek to ascertain. And I should be able to just yoink this stuff and just update it with the correct information. True. And then U either we calculated above, yes. And we're going to use candidate hit for lack of a better, less verbose name. And then from here we should be able to supply. Yeah, I think I might make a new distinct struct for this. I don't know. And then otherwise, is this all still within the loop? Yeah, because then it's gonna be set as the candidate. Yeah. Yep. And we assign all these values. But in truth, all I really need is... Yeah, okay, cool. So we just have to add another field here, I think. Yo, wow, what's going on? End of week? What's going on? Well, what's happening, Sekai? I have finally cleared my garage enough that I can use the weights. So goal for the week is to use it once at least. Let's go, Senkai. I'm glad to hear that, dude. I'm glad to hear that, dude. Yeah, dude, fitness is something you can't neglect. I need to get back on it, too. I mean, I'm still doing the squats, and that feels great. But, oh, dude, I had a fun thing the other day at the gym. So, I always go in the gym with jeans after work, and it's like fine usually, right? It's usually fine. But this week, I wanted to hit my squats, my quick squats, blast my quads before going home. I go down once. We do the ass to grass squats, as they say. That's a technical term. So we hit that once, Everything's going great. Hit it 2 times. Fantastic. Hit it the 3rd time. Hit it the 3rd time. I get a big old rip in my jean. All of a sudden, I'm mooning the entire gym. It's tragic. And I mean, we don't stop. We keep going until the set's done. But I know my entire butt's just, my booty's hanging out. And I finish the set, and you're hit with this question that determines what kind of man you are. Do you pack it up and go home? Or do you lock in, finish them sets, regardless if people see you? And here's the thing, where I was situated, like, there is no way to avoid it. Because on one hand, my butt's just hanging out, and the whole gym sees it. I could try turning around and face the wall, but guess what? The wall's a mirror. One big mirror. So the people are gonna see it one way or another. So we just turned around. I just faced the way I was facing the entire time. Finished my sets. Go home. I don't go straight home either. I stopped at the store. I bought some deodorant, bought some toothpaste, as you do, and then we went home, and then we changed. See? Trial is what determines what kind of man you are. So, to soothe the brain, I'll go insane instead. Nah, dude, C is great, XD. C is great. C makes your mind feel fantastic. It's like cocoa butter on the brain. Might meet Mrs. Cozy soon. Hey, I'm hoping, man. My nieces keep asking, you're like, hey, when are you gonna get when we're gonna have nieces or cousins? And I'm like, okay, what can I say, man? Your uncle's got things to do. You gotta be patient. But I gotta be careful. And they're like, nah, you ain't got no game. And I have to explain to these kids that no, I got all the game. Okay? We got all. You kids don't even know. This is a choice. It's not a. It is not a. What was it? What's that incel thing? An involuntary celibate. It's not that. Them kids don't know, man. Anyways, but yeah, that's my little story. I'm super happy I put that on the internet for the world to know. That's cool. That's cool. Okay, what are we doing? Yeah, hopefully no one clips that. Hopefully that never gets posted anywhere. Gotta go. Good night. You have a good night, Senkai. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, now that story time's over. What am I doing? Candidate hit. Origin XY. Yeah. We calculate UV. We get the radiated test hit. Yeah, beautiful. We do the shader test. Yada. Fantastic. We have a result that isn't actually needed here because that result's calculated down there. That's a mistake. So what we actually should be doing is setting, I believe he called it candidate hit equal to test hit. Is that correct? Yes, test hit. So candidate hit equals test hit. Beautiful. Beautiful. And then we set all the candidate stuff, closest object, hit points, whatever. Yeah. Honestly, we should just, I don't know. Because all this is just to do... All this really is just to return a result, right? That's all we're doing here. And this is like the bad timeline where things go wrong. But this is going to be the good timeline. We don't need to calculate this because that's already done did. And we don't have to even do this. Because we simply return candidate. Okay, so we're gonna compile this, and this is totally gonna work the first time. No issues. Oh, splendid. There is issues. Okay. So why is there issues? There's one at 204, and it seems straightforward. And that's because what's expected before int shader. That seems like I just forgot to use a semicolon. That happens on occasion. Okay, 220. What's happening at 220? Candidate hit. Now is it because something is test hit? Incompatible types. What do you mean incompatible types? Get out of here. Test hit is a struct array hit, yeah? And what about candidate? Oh no, I forgot. Final hit is what's supposed to be. Yeah. Whoopsie. It happens, right? Is it going to be overwritten each time? No, because final hit is assigned here. Okay, cool. Okay, and then 242. Where? Color result. Why are you mad about that? Undeclared use in this function. Why are you mad? If close object equals color results. Oh. Right. Yeah, we can just make you, I don't know, 0. Return final hit. Why art thou mad? Undeclared first use in this function. Why are you mad at me, dude? I'm trying so hard to be accommodating, and you're just being so mean to me. Oh, because we were doing this in... Yeah. Wrong scope. You're supposed to be up here, aren't you, pal? Okay, so compiled. Let's run it. And segmentation fault. Yep, segmentation core dump. As it happens. Okay. That's simple, though, because we have GDB. And GDB has always been helpful and has never led us astray. Okay. It's happening in... Interesting. Segmentation core dump fault. CBMP.C 155. 155. Interesting. So it's actually happening from the CBMP library. And it's happening at line 155. Here. Now, why this is the case is kind of perplexing to me, because seemingly I've essentially just copied what we had here. Nothing odd, nothing kooky crazy. So why am I being made to be the bad guy? Is it because... And it's on red too. It's not like it's happening when we dereference alpha. No. Nay, Shaniqua. It's happening explicitly when we are accessing the first element. Wowzers. So, what could be the case here? CLib CBMP header file. What if I were to just do a little of that? Little of that accent, little... No, you're gonna, yeah. What if we just do a little... Okay, you're not happy about that. It's okay. I understand. You have the right to be unhappy. Doesn't mean it's right, but it's okay. So I guess we have to modify the header file to support our little overload. I mean, that's what I'm assuming, but RGBA. Signed. Beautiful. Okay, you're still mad at me. Why am I the bad guy? Every single time, you make me out to be the bad guy. Segmentation fault. GDB. Run. Yes. And again, it's happening 155. So, okay. Maybe it's not a CBMP issue, but rather the data we're passing into it. So, how would that be the cause? And how do we diagnose that? Well, we can check the bounds within CBMP so that it's like a safe thing. So within our implementation of getPixel RGBA, we have this, and if index equals is greater than or equal to BMP width times BMP height, or index is less than 0, a far less likely scenario, but hey, you gotta cover your eggs, right? Or your base, I don't know. Then yeah, there's something's clearly gone wrong. And %d exceeds valid range of %d. And we should probably actually just calculate this. Or let's say length. And then we could just simply do, if index is greater than or equal to length, bad things are happening. And then simply do index length. And you know, let's even do something let's even include the chord that we're trying to access with. So X and Y. Splendid. We can keep the chords together here. Okay. Let's try building again. Oh, we should actually probably early return too, right? Build. Task out. Oh, sorry guys. So, what is happening here? Cool. We have a negative value. That's not great. Also, you should probably, I don't know, new line character. Yeah, sorry for anyone who's watching this right now. That was not great. What's going on, Andrew? Hopefully you're doing well. So, let's make this, we can't make it, like, break its own ankles immediately, because then it's not going to print F, is it? Okay, guys, everyone close your eyes real quick. Close your eyes. There you go. So what are we getting here? Index, Boo ba ba ba. A coordinate. Okay, we're getting some bad coordinates, aren't we? Exceed valid range of. Okay, we're just getting a lot of bad things happening right now. Why is this? Oh, is it because of the signed value? Do you have to use unsigned values for the? Oh no, we're using int for index. So that doesn't seem. Oh wait, %d. Okay, %d. First of all, exceeds valid range of. But yeah, we're going index. X and Y are both normal integers. Length is also a regular integer, so that should be fine. We're doing BMP width times height, and somehow that's producing a negative value too, which is strange. And I don't think it's going to be due to our what we're doing here. Let me just do something real quick. Okay, sorry about that again. Yeah, we're just getting -2 out of range. And okay, so we have a valid range, a valid width and height. So the BMP data is fine. It's just our query is incorrect, which signals to me that we're passing junk data. Likely the UV data is junk data into our little sampler. So let's see what's going on here. So it's not the issue with the shaders. The shaders are good. So that means in our little raycast input, likely we're calculating some UV data wrong, or some data is being mutated in a way we didn't expect because we have a different scope. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, 1 second. Let me go use the bathroom real quick. I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick. That's an invitation for you guys to also use the bathroom and or unhunch yourselves. Perchance maybe even stretch a little bit. I'll be right back, right? 1 second, y'all. Bam. And bam. Alright. Today's stream has been brought to you by Reese's Puffs. Just kidding, we're not actually sponsored. I just desire some sugar at this hour. So pardon me. Pardon me. How's it going, Emma? Hello, just landed on your stream before the break and it's really relaxing. I'm glad. That's the goal here. If not educational, if we don't get a game done, at the very least, I want the streams to be relaxing. So I'm glad to hear that. Glad to have you here. Okay, we're done snacking. Now it's time to figure out why. Why are things going bad? Why are terrible, evil things happening in this world? And I think maybe this may have to do with candidate scale not being correct, and I should be using O scale. And candidate hit. Ooh, actually, is this competing with an outer scope variable? Candidate hit point, candidate center, yeah. No, okay, it's not. Okay, so candidate hit is a valid thing. Who'd have thunk? Who'd have thought? Now the question is, yeah, UVs. Oh, we have to report the color, don't we? Oh, but we don't have the color value to report yet, so we must first assign the test, construct a test hit, run the shader with the current incomplete data, and then after the results have been concluded, do we then perform our assignment of the color data. What did I call it? It's just color. Wait. I didn't even define the name. I just said a data. Oh, I love C. I could just define a variable, but not like the actual identity of it. It's just like, hey, there's gonna be a color in this struct. I don't know what name it's gonna be. Just figure out the offset yourself. Okay, final color or hit color, let's say. Okay. Gosh, man. We're just doing some weird, wild stuff today, aren't we? Is the minimum possible value for maybe there's an overflow somewhere? Yeah, or maybe just like a... Oh, 1 second. Pardon me. It's coming from some incorrect calculation on the UV side. Like, that's ultimately where the problem's tracing from, right? So either my math result is resulting in that maximum negative value because of using undefined data, probably, which I think is the case for what I was doing here. Because I was using candidate scale, which isn't set on like the first, on any of these iterations, so it would fail. But then it would be like a normal. It would be a negative. It wouldn't be a negative number. It would be just 0. I don't know. Let's see first. We'll get to the bottom of this eventually. Okay. Candidate hit. Where do we get the color result? Right, we don't get it here. It's gonna be assigned here. It's gonna be called hit color, and it's gonna be hey, that looks surprisingly okay, and I'm not seeing bad, evil things happening. So let's go to our main function, remove the lit stuff so we can actually see the unlit objects, and let's see if we can actually have layers of objects rendered correctly. And that'll be done with within our here we go. Build, task out. Okay. Not seeing the objects behind it. Let's make sure, let me double check to make sure the objects actually exist where I want them to. We have 001. Oh, is there only one object right now? That could be a problem, wouldn't that? Wouldn't that be a problem if we only have the one object there? Yeah, let's fix that. So yeah, this should be like simplified into a single function. And I forgot my positioning scheme for this stuff, but it is okay. It is a-okay. But so far, this seems promising already that we're not getting a pure white. That was what was happening before. But maybe it's just also the result of like the alpha value. I don't know. We'll see. Standard 2 and yeah, that should be all. Oh no. Oh, actually, no, it is working. You can see in the background. Okay, you can't see it because the colors are really close to each other in value. But yeah, we actually got it. So now we have multiple, we can support cutout transparent shaders. We still need to do something for alpha blending, but we can actually, because the way we're doing this ring arching thing, it wouldn't be that crazy to have the correct blending of transparent surfaces and composite into the final result, which is pretty rad. That makes me a very happy guy. So object 3, data 3. I'm gonna make a simple function to just get these objects created and bound together in a simple way. So now if I do this, build, task out. Oh, I'm not seeing the thing I wanted. I can see the correct object, but I'm not seeing the background I'm looking for. Oh, I didn't set the correct data. Whoopsie. Data 3. And you should be using data 3 as well. Okay. This is for real now. We're going to build it now for real. Oh my goodness, you see the layers. Yeah, you see the background one too. It's not as apparent because we're doing an orthographic projection. We're not doing a perspective yet. We will eventually. Pardon me. Oh, but we have the actual layers working. Do I have the actual pure background as well? Let me see. Task, cozy. No, we only have the 3. It would be trivial to make another one though. Let me open up Sprite real quick. That should be a pretty straightforward process. Where are you? Cozy ASCII engine. Yeah, So I could just yoink this, and then we actually have the real background somewhere, but I'm just gonna be a little lazy and not grab it. 0.bmp. Oh, dude, I'm super happy about this though. Yeah, this is yeah, we will make a function to do this. To do simple object creation. And then you need to have a thing to modify the ray directions. All in due time, but I'm just gonna be happy about where we're at right now. Oh, we have to modify the texture thing too. What's going on, Nora? Glad to see you here. Do I have you here somewhere? Yeah, super simple. Yeah, we're hard coding textures. Sue me. I don't care. Okay. So this one can just be 3, 2, 1, 4. Sure. That's fine for me. Nope, that's running it. Ah, got him. Oh right, I named it the wrong thing. Yeah, we'll do an actual. Yeah. It's paradoxical. There we go. There's the cabin scene. Rendered in glorious ASCII. Now let's change our resolution a little bit. We're gonna have to implement the dynamic resolution thing too at some point, which I'm not happy about because that means we have to change the allocation of buffers. So maybe we'll, I don't know. Or maybe just only resize if the resolution exceeds the buffer size, and then but keep it allocated the same size if it's like low. I don't know. Should be fine. So let's try a little bit higher resolution. We're gonna do 100 by 50. I'm gonna change my resolution from 13 to 9, which should be apparent. I'm not seeing it happen, like be reflected. So I'm not sure what's going on there. What's going on, Western? Do I have to relaunch my okay. Why is the font not updating? Usually I could just save it and it just reloads, but Western is not doing that. I can still see things in a reasonable manner. That's not supposed to be right. Who gave you the right to make me see things reasonably? I don't want that. I just wanted to affect Western. I'm scared. Why aren't you working? Okay, we can do the nuclear, not nuclear, but significantly more. Oh. Westerm's not happy, that's why. I've done a bad. Error string, line 16. What did I do on line 16? Oh, I pasted a YouTube link in here somehow. Okay, that'll do it. Yeah, now we're back. Now we're back in business. Okay. Yeah, so there's a pro tip there. Don't paste a YouTube link into your Western config. Okay, beautiful. So we can build it, and then we can do task out. Oh my goodness, and it's starting to look like an actual reasonable-ish resolution. Oh, dude, this is exciting. This is super exciting. We have actual transparency testing. This is fantastic, dude. I feel very happy. And I bet on a regular monitor, it's gonna actually look way better. Like, I think if I put it on that monitor, we're gonna be in a much happier place, but this is cool. So we have objects and entities, and they're actually, we can have multiple transparent sprites on top of each other, and we actually render the back objects. Beautiful. And then a thing that we can do next is like actually keep track of all the transparent objects we hit along the way in our path, and then do a combinatoric, like we can composite all the transparencies together. Don't make Western happy. Yup, Jay Looney. That is how we live. Yeah, it's coming together, man. I'm pretty happy with it. Transparency is not a big issue for me though. For like most things I'm doing doesn't require a transparency, so this is fine. So you know what we can do? We can start working on an animated sprite, because we have our character here. And let's actually like put this in a let's start actually organizing this properly. Do I have a data folder? If not, we're gonna make one. Or maybe just images. Or sprites. That feels very game makery. We're gonna make the game maker killer with this one, am I right? There you go. And idle down. Oh, whoopsie. We accidentally selected much more than we wanted. And then going to data, sprites, don't need you. Okay, yeah, don't need buffer.age. Okay, cool, so your image is located in the actual correct place. Cool. Also, I'm kind of curious. How do we, because we're going to have this data path now. And we have we're building a specific kind of hierarchy going on here. So like, I don't want to have to prepend this entire data path for sprites and our textures. We called it a texture service, or texture, just textures actually. We should really call it sprites. I don't know. I'm so all over the place. We're just gonna call it textures, so everything just makes sense. We're all in the same place. But yeah, I need to figure out how to concatenate C concat paths, because there's extra edge cases you have to do with handling paths. Though in our case, maybe it's fine. I'm so used to using path, the static path functions in C#. You're talking about argv. I guess it is a C string, so we can just do like some dumb stuff. We should also make our own string utility, like, because a lot of standard string functions, a lot of the issues come from like undefined expectations around usage of it. But if I make my own string class and like make my own, I don't know, string functions, then it can be very explicit about what it's meant to do and how it's supposed to be operated and what kind of data it's going to return and what format. What does buffer.h and buffer.c do? Smollett or Smollinks? My bad, dude. It's just a big fixed buffer that contains an array of characters. For this project, they're not really doing anything because we actually have a buffer of colors instead. If you go to main, though, so it's basically like your frame buffer that you're drawing to, and then like eventually, instead of having like a swap chain, like all we're doing is that in our loop, or actually we're not even doing that. So in another project, Riven Done, we're doing that, where you draw to this buffer and then we print it all in a single printf statement. For this one, we're not doing that. I think we actually straight up just print individual characters. Yeah, color cars. Because to output the colors in the way we want it to, we have to do it on a per it's like a string that you have to printf to have the color rendered the way you want to. So we actually end up having to print each individual character color out. But in the projects where I'm not doing that, if I can find it, I think it's just called task. Am I wrong? Yeah, here. Here we're doing that, where you have a fixed character buffer that you draw to every single frame, and then at the very end of the frame you draw everything in a single printf. And this works good. And this buffer.c or .h file contains all the functions for drawing to the buffer. It contains like the little fragment thing that creates these sinusoidal effects. It contains different simple things to draw simple shapes like squares onto the screen, and it also contains the functions for drawing the entirety of the buffer or drawing like characters and stuff. So like all these things I'm doing here are using that buffer.h. We're gonna have to reintroduce it because I do want to be able to draw text to the screen. So at some point I'm going to have to actually incorporate that text buffer. So we're gonna have two buffers, one for the color, or actually no, we're not gonna have like two buffers. We're gonna have one buffer for the text. Or actually maybe we are gonna have like a buffer, one for color and then one for the actual text that's gonna be shown on screen. And at the very end we're gonna draw the correct combination of like the background ANSI color code with the foreground text element we want to display there, so that, you know, it's not just colored spaces. We can actually have text on the screen for like dialog boxes or something. So that's what that buffer header file I have is for. I think I have it on my Codeberg repo, so you can take a look if you want to. It's all there for your perusal. But fantastic. So I think the thing I wanted to do, what was I was gonna do animated sprites. So let me, oh, you know, we were doing string concatenation. That's what we were doing. Yeah. We'll do something jank in like the textures thing here, and then we'll do an actual proper concat. It doesn't really matter because I just done it once, so I don't have to make it like crazy. But yeah, we're just gonna do something very simple. And it's always weird because like you have to contend with a null terminator. So like like you have to the null terminator has caused so much issues because of like you always kind of forget about that guy, right? So I could just do pre-length plus post-length, add one for null terminator or something, and then like let's say we have two strings, right? String A and string B, and we have, I don't know, a string that's just like before. Actually, let's make it very arbitrary. A, and then like let's make it a countable length. So let's make it 4, right? And then you have string B, and it's B, right? So you'd think, oh, these are length 4, right? So it's just 4 plus 4. It's going to be equal to 8. And then to make it a proper string, you have to do plus a null terminator, right? So in your head, you're like, oh, the math just checks out to like, you know, to a total of 9. But no, because you have to factor in the fact that if you're passing in literals, literals in C also have the null terminator in them. And in this case, we are doing that. So really, you have to make sure that you're passing in like, if you're gonna do that and like just allocate it the way like this way, then you have to make sure that your pre-length and post-lengths don't factor in the null terminator, and then just handle that the way you want to. Pre-length, no null. No null. And then there's additional concerns of like, okay, but what if like, I don't know, some kind of null value got in the middle somewhere, so it's, you allocate the whole thing and do mem copy, but then when you actually do outputs, they're stopping early. We're not going to worry about that. We're just going to not do those mistakes. It's super easy, guys. Just don't do the mistakes. Like, it's so easy. Anyways, just doing some mem copy. I think it's destination and source, right? I always forget them. I was doing a bunch recently too. I don't know why I keep forgetting mem copy. And I love the man 7 pages. They're always fantastic. They always put a smile on my face reading these man pages. And we have destination, force, yep, and then source. So we're just gonna do output and we're gonna copy pre, and it's gonna be pre-length no null times size of char, which it's in size in bytes, so this is actually kind of a redundant thing, but I don't know. I don't know. This stream is not the time, but it's alright. Since you're coding in C, have you ever read any of the Plan 9 code? I really like bio.h, and they also have an interesting string implementation. I have not, but I'd actually like to take a gander at it. I've actually read very little C code outside of like my own stuff. So I really need to get, because I like working with C, and I'm working in my own dumb weird convention, but it would be good if I actually learned how civilized people in civilization use civilized C. I'm very much a feral, like I'm like, in the world that is C, I'm like a child that fell into a jungle and learned how to survive and grew up in the jungle. So I don't really, I do things very weird in a way that makes sense to me, and I should probably enter civilization and look at it. But yeah, I'll check it out. Bio.h, you said? That seems really interesting. And if you have like a OpenSSL, oh, interesting. I was actually looking at that because I was gonna do some stuff related to it. Not for like code wise, but just using it for stuff. Is this what you're talking about though? Clean up, be right, convex, be read, convection. Actually, maybe it's not OpenSSL. Maybe I was thinking of something else. Yeah, I'd have to take a better look and get a better context for what this is meant for. Imagine bio.h is not the most, oh, that OpenSSL bio is different. Look up Plan 9. Oh, my bad. Plan 9, you said that. Yeah, Plan 9. Bio.h. What is Plan 9? From Bell Labs. Oh. This is prestigious. Is an operating system designed by the Computing Science Research Center. Yeah, Bell Labs. Huh. So what is Plan 9? B size, bung get size, B magic, B end of file, B bad. Okay. This starting to remind me of working with no.h. B get C, put C offset. Okay. Seek. This is some familiar stuff. B print. Yeah, it's the same. Is it? Yeah, B magic BOF. Yeah. C made Plan 9. Oh my goodness, so it's gotta be something. It's gotta be something great to look at. So this is a header file, but I should probably take a look at the C file and see some of the implementation stuff. But magic if mallocked. I need to get more context for what is going on here. Or if they have like a specific thing for string. String.h. Okay, so they have a struct for string, a lock, char pointer base, and a pointer. Okay, so pointer to the base, pointer to end. Base string end of allocated space +1. Why is it pointing to the space after the allocated string? Okay, pointer into the string. That's interesting. Is that like an iterator type thing? Or a numerator? Or something like... Because you have the base of the string already. So what would be this? Unless it's like some kind of... I don't like... I really know. Short ref. U-chart fixed. Okay. And these are the underlying... These are the exposed functions. And they have simple stuff for appending, array, copy. Oh, I guess a pointer to the... Okay, pointer end also is good for appending. That makes sense. I can see why +1's... Append... Parse, reset, restart. What is restart? Okay, so does it set this pointer back to base? So if you want to like iteratively parse through it, you have this like kind of stateful embedded embedded statefulness to it. To lower, putz, unique. You can grow the allocation. Okay. Huh. This is actually a bit interesting. Stream API is basic IO. Okay. Yes, it's better to have string objects instead of passing raw strings. I love doing that. I have so much fun doing that. I was actually having to do a bunch of that recently, but like interop between C# and native C. But you have this interesting thing you have to deal with, which is the fact that chars and C# are UTF-16, so they're 16 bits. Whereas like chars and normal C is like a byte, right? A single byte. 8 bits. So like you have this thing where if you're passing a char buffer or a string from C# to C, you have to do a conversion of like doing that wide character set to like the C standard one, and then or else what you're doing is gonna fail. And on top of that, you have to like make sure you set, because I was doing some stuff with like string parsing things, so you have to make sure you reset error node too. But yeah, it's so much weird, fun, odd stuff. I'm gonna read a little bit more through that, because like if I'm gonna make my own little C string implementation, that's kind of cool looking to see how they did it. That's like even that pointer. I'm interested about that char pointer, because it seems like something you can like easily loop through, but may not be great for like, I don't know. Hey man, how you been, boss? Doing good, man. How about you? You doing alright, Heavy? What are window frameworks are you using? Windows frameworks for like what? Alright, so we were doing stuff, right? So we have the output pre-linked is not null, time size of char redundant, but whatever, because it's in bytes and chars are bytes. And now we want to allocate the we want a destination, so we want to do the next one, which is going to be output times pre-length not no null. This is so dumb. Which should result in, yeah, that's when we're starting from. Destination is going to be post. It's going to be post length. And then we just set the output. Fantastic. Path could get. Nothing will go wrong here. Most definitely. And it still requires things something stupid. Maybe I should just like say screw it, malloc it internally so we don't have to actually because what I'm doing is you have to allocate something outside here. It has to be the appropriate size ahead of time, and then maybe I will just do it for the sake of convenience. Because then I can just return the char pointer. And then, yeah, and this whole process becomes a little bit way more frictionful because of that too. A little rough, but that is life. And we making it work, you know? Yeah, man. Well, I'm sorry to hear that things are rough, dude, and I feel that. It's been kind of, at least for, thankfully, you know, at least for me personally, things are fine. But there's people around me who've had some very bad stuff. So it's always a reminder, you know? It's always a reminder to appreciate what you have and just keep trucking, man. God is good. Both in the good and the bad, He is good. And that is my hope. Yeah, I'm thinking about this a little bit more critically, actually. How do I do it? Because I think really what I want to do is actually have some simple function. Actually, we're going to just do this. Void load. It's going to take in... Oh my goodness, what? Okay. Pointer. Oh, as for the keeps, my bad, before I forget. I'm using KT strawberries. Pretty good stuff. I like me my KT strawberries. And actually, we can't just make this be a void pointer. Or actually, maybe we can. Maybe we can have everything can just happen at once. And maybe this is actually fine. We can keep this doing stuff to output. And maybe life can go on, dude. And eventually it's going to be something like this. Actually, no, we can do a fixed one because we actually know the size of stuff. Hope to find or build my own split key. It's great. I enjoy it. I love the split key life, and I think I might want to do. My dream would be to make one out of wood. That'd be like my actual dream. And I've done like I've made like a wood case for this. That's very nice. But I think I want to actually just try designing, because it feels like we have these little stands here, right? So that I'm able to have it at the correct angle. But why have a stand when I could just like have a solid block of wood, a solid block of mahogany at the right angle, at the right calibration, and I could just set it down and we just get to work. That'd be fun. Hand chisel it. It'll be good. I love chiseling. It's my favorite. It's my favorite. Yeah, we're gonna be a little lazy here. Stir length filably, right? That's a valid function. What are you developing? I'm doing an ASCII rendering project thing. Let me find it. Oh, are we in the right place? We are in the right place. Don't lie to me. No file. Dang it, I started doing stuff, didn't I? I started doing stuff. That's on me. How dare I start doing things? Why is there no task? Wait, do we delete it? Oh, it's not no such file directory? Oh, because we moved everything. Right, and that's what we're doing right now. We're doing the whole process of supporting this new file directory we've done. Okay, 1 second. Yeah, we're doing like this ASCII rendered game engine thing, and we have this ray tracing thing that's going on, and that's looking pretty okay so far. Super simple, but it's fine. And now I'm just refactoring how we do the texture loading a little bit so that we can actually, I don't have to actually type in the full path. I don't want to have to do like data, texture. Is that what it is? Oh, sprites, my bad. Sprites. Plural. I don't have to do that. So we're trying to rectify this situation. We're trying to rectify this in a few different ways. But did I get rid of my build script? Oh wait, I'm in the wrong folder, that's why. Yeah, that happens. What's going on where? Oh, whoops. Of course I messed up something. Pre-length. Oh no. Oh, I said no null. I should have said just not null instead. Cool. Can we run? Doesn't like it. She's not happy with it. Yeah, let's see here. Always so unhappy. Always so ungrateful. Also, is Linux doing the thing where you have to do like every time I did different builds of like the engine project across yeah, deletion doesn't work for some reason. I don't know why. I have to actually do this select. But yeah, every time I used to do builds like this for Windows versus Linux, I'd have to swap out the delimiters. File directory. Okay, cool. So just straight up not working. Everything's there. Is he using apps? No, it's not using. It's using relative paths. So yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. Okay, this is gonna be fun. I need to figure out how to set working directories too. Is the meter's cozy sound different? Yeah, I've done some audio processing changes a little bit. What's going on, Monchi? I've gotten so many of these C streamers that I had to make the switch to. Let's go, dude. Let's go. Monchi? Correct me if I'm wrong, man. Help me with the pronunciation. But let's go, dog. Let's go, C. C is cool, man. It's rad. I love it. I'm having a good time working in C. I'm not having a good time with getting this to load, but it's okay. Oh, I'm dumb. Well, no, that's not the only cause, but it's a significant factor. Okay, so that's still causing issues. Okay. Let's do this in isolation. Let's go into main. Let's see if I can't get this to work. He's wearing a thicker mustache. Are you doing the horizontal stream today, gamers? Yeah, dude. I love it too. It feels so much lighter than C++, which is where I came from. Oh, really? That's interesting. That's an interesting move. You went from C++ to C. Yeah, I like the simplicity of like, hey, there's like here's a thing that always comes up is that like when, and I have this in my job too, right? But like languages afford you so many different ways to architect and design stuff. But when you have such a wide field of possibilities, it also means that like it's hard to make assumptions because a lot of things are there, right? But I can see it's like kind of there's only a finite set of possibilities, right? Unless you're doing like crazy macro stuff or whatever. The possibilities are very limited, which means that it's easy to deduce what's going on. And it's like it's weird, but it's like it's really nice, man. I like it. Right. I thought I moved stuff, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm not gonna do a fully qualified path thing. Let me see something. CBMP examples. Because I've been loading sprites that are just immediate in the same, they're siblings to the actual executable file. Like it should be straightforward. Or maybe I should better actually search up how string directory parsing works. Yeah, because they're just showing the simple example, or just taking an argument actually. That's really doing loading. I should make a fork, or not a fork. I should make a PR with the overload we added. The additional function for gain alpha, the RGBA. Handled with its number of features and standard library. More is not always better. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes less is more, dude. Creates less of a pain to deal with. Like the fact that I can go to a project like in like C# or C++ and like I'm not sure I have to be aware of what kind of paradigm they're operating under to be able to do any meaningful work is kind of a pain. Okay. File paths. See. Actually, one second. No, we didn't do everything was in root in that project too. Now that I think about it, wow, I guess I haven't gotten to that point with other stuff. But you know what? Actually, we do. Where's the other engine project? Yeah, it's still running in the background too. How do I do it here? Yeah, these statically because we have the Python thing generated. But it's not just that. Texture registry. Okay, and we have load PNG, and we do sort by name. Extension to string. Oh, it's okay. No, it's different though, because we're actually enumerating a dictionary or enumerating a directory and getting all the files there. And we're using C++ stuff too for that. So like, I'm actually not aware of how the well, let's see here. Texture directory, just texture. Yeah, we're just building the components. And this is from root. So we're actually not seeing how the path is being... Like if I... do we print out the full path at all? No, we don't here either. It's all concated under the hood. What about shaders? Shader module. How am I doing stuff there? And again, I think we're doing the same deal there. Yeah, I think we're just doing the same thing across the board. Yep, file directory iterator, and that's for getting stuff. Okay. Yeah. Personal audio filter with follicle flare. Follicle flare. Yeah, I wonder how the sound is different though. Do I sound more nasally? Let's see what we get with this. How do you open a C file with a relative path? Beautiful. That's exactly what I wanted. My friend. If you put... You need to double all the backslashes so that... What do you have to use double backslashes? So that's a working directory, yes. So the dude has to double and then go back out. Okay, we're not trying to go double out. Doing // This is for Windows. This guy in Windows. That's also a consideration, right? Alright, let's go back to our main and try and just load something simple, which I believe is like test is a valid thing. No, it's not actually. Actually, we got rid of the test BMP, didn't we? Is that causing issues maybe? Maybe everything's failing because there's a legitimate failing case. Like if I did this. Yeah, because there's no image even in that subdirectory. So maybe we were fine this entire time, and I'm just being a dumb butt. Okay. Tragic. Okay, we'll just do the different possibilities. We'll just enumerate through them. And eventually one of them will stick. And let me verify. I think they should all exist. There we go. There we go. Oh, right, because we have the wrong resolution right now. Yeah, we're working at the huge resolution. Okay, that's fine. We can live like that. I can live like that. Okay, cool. So we can start, now we know how we can do, or how we're supposed to do paths, and how they're supposed to be formatted. Now we can start making our simple, easy function for doing this concatenation, so that I don't have to worry about it. I wonder if I can do some define magic with this. It's Monsey. I love it too. It feels so much lighter. Yeah, I got you, man. Yep. How many hours do you put into this each day or week? I think this is like the 4th day I've worked on it. The streams have been like a 2 hour, 3 hours each. Nothing crazy. This is a side project. In all honesty. Something I just do kind of for fun and semi-seriously, because I think I might actually do an actual game with this. But nothing too serious, so we have the freedom to explore. So we have a length of file. Very nice. And then we have our we're gonna have our data directory, so we're gonna have a I want to do a char array. I guess I'll just do a char pointer and then just do, or actually you can just do a can you define string? I guess yeah, you can. You can just do texture dir and literally make it a quotation mark, which is gonna be data dot sprites. And then I guess we could just hand code this instead of doing. I mean, it doesn't really matter, honestly. Because this is done once. The price for calculating this is done once the applications start, and it's not the end of the world. So we're like fine. And then we can do our combination here. Of like length plus, it's gonna be weird, length minus 1 plus and we actually keep this because it's gonna be a null terminator, so that's fine. And then we just do the prepend function, right? Or actually, yeah, we do the prepend function. File path. I think for this, since we're using an actual explicit array, we have to do this, and then we do the thing, man. We do what? Texture dir. We do. Dude, maybe we just hard code this. I don't know. It's not the end of the world. It's not. It's easy to count the length of it manually. So I'm not sure why we're making a big deal of it. So that's a pre, and then the post is gonna be file, and then length, and that should be everything needed. So we do our path concat, and then instead of doing this, we can just do b open and pass in our file path. And nothing should go wrong. And we should just do I. And then all these just change into load. And then whatever this was. And so on and so forth. And we could totally make like and automate this so it happens, so it's generated automatically, but for now this is fine. And yay, no malloc. So we're gonna build. Things are gonna go good. Segmentation cord up. GDB. Test that out. We run it. We say yes. GDB. Where do things go wrong? It's going somewhere wrong with strings. I'm doing something wrong with strings at some level. Memcopy AVX and align arms. No such file or directory. Let me see something. I think we're just doing something dumb here. That's easy. So, are we also pointing to the correct things? We're treating like an array and doing some operations on it. Do I have to actually expose the I wonder if that's all there is to it. There we go. That's all there was to it. I just had to do actual, okay, yeah. Okay, beautiful. So we have a better, easier way of loading. I mean, slightly better way. Well, we have our subdirectory. We have a data folder, and now it's an easy process to load stuff. I think the last thing I'd want to do for tonight is add a simple function just for creating objects. Because a lot of this stuff is kind of straightforward. Like this is kind of just gonna be a boilerplate, and I don't need that. Like I just need to pass in like some basic information. Like, hey, I want an object. It's gonna have this position, scale, and I want to have this shader attached to it, and that's it. That's all you need, right? This shader and this this uniform attached to it. So yeah, something like that. Well, still not gonna be the cleanest, but let's figure out what this API is gonna look like actually up here before I move it to somewhere. Yeah, but it's gonna be something akin to just and it's like you don't even care, dude. You're just like, I just want the object to exist. So you're gonna do this, and immediately we have some information we need to have instantaneously. So for example, we need a float 3 for position. In fact, we're gonna call this create. We're gonna have a thing for scale. I can't wait till we make it this matrix, because then when we have a matrix, we can just have a variety of simple functions for creating that matrix. Like, we only just have the position for the object. We don't, and use a default scale or something. Anyways. But yeah, we're gonna have these two things. That is for sure. And then we're likely gonna have a, scale. Dude, I don't even want to go through the bother of, like, constructing these, structs. Like, I almost just want to, hey, just give them the, you just type in the raw X values or whatever, but for now, this is fine. So, cool, we created the object, requested from the pool, whatever. We set the standard shader we want to have. You need to set shader as well. So this we can't avoid because we have to have uniforms or what make us the man, right? And then as far as the data's uniform data is concerned, object request. We saw that's still going to exist, but these set shaders become simpler. And I guess we can use int, but I'm pretty sure we have like a whole enum for this, right? But it's fine. And then I guess we can return the object reference if you really want to. And then shader data. Okay, beautiful. Yeah, and life is simple, man. Life is easy, dude. Life is good. This is good news, Mark. Good news. So this this becomes condensed down to, like, first we create these data, these uniforms, and then we just have object create and it's already starting to look like a matrix almost. Standard, and then what is it? Data 1. Of course, cast a void pointer. And look at that! Look at that! Look how easy it is to create objects. And each one gets progressively further away, right? Yeah, that's the case. So you just get rid of these, get rid of all this. No longer needed. Don't need it. Now this is all we need to create an object. Beautiful. Splendid. And it's like, what, data 1, 2, 3, 4, yep. So that's all that's needed. Gosh, look at that. Look at that. Maybe condense it even further. Yeah, I love that actually. Okay. Right. Build. Okay. Okay, you're not happy. Happens to the best of us. Why are you not happy? It's happening at main 91. Oh, because it's already a void pointer, aren't you? Yeah, shader data, by the way. Even better. Okay. You're still feeling happy though, so why are you unhappy? 63. Because we have data. FD standard data, okay. Right. There we go. I mean, things are incorrect because we haven't changed the size of our terminal. But this is easy. Look at this. It's so easy now to create objects. Very simple. You'll love to see it. Nice. Look at that. Oh yeah. This is coming together very nicely. Honestly, like, I kind of want to just start making some... Like, this is already suitable enough where we can actually start making some gameplay logic, actually have characters in here, and start making a tile map editor for the game, and make some kind of format for that. Either I can make it a separate tool, or I can make everything in like this one combined engine where it's the engine is in the game as well. So you can switch between edit mode, where you're manipulating the tiles of the level. Or I guess it would be less of an edit mode, and be like the play mode, and then level edit mode, and then maybe something else for like whatever. But this works. This is fine. This actually works. Though the background's a little too... I don't know what's going on with the background. I'm so happy our rate, like... Perfect. Beautiful, even. And if we do lighting... Things should be lit differently as well. So if I change all these to use... standard lit. It's working. Oh my goodness, the lighting's actually working. Kind of. There's some weird oddities happening. I think it has to do with how we're doing the calculation of the hip position, but... Yeah, we're going to have to revisit it, because lighting is not working correctly. We have two light sources here that are not quite working, but... Yeah, it's alright. Alright, let's add this. First of all, let's clear. Perfect. Added transparency test and file directory and data. Org. Splendid, dude. Splendid, man. Can't say hi, but I gotta go to bed. It's all good, nicey. I'm gonna do the same soon too, man. It's better than my Vulkan render, shake my head. But no, Vulkan's cool though. And it's actually useful and practical. The game I'm making for this is gonna be such a niche game. It's gonna be so niche. Not because of like the genre or whatever, but like the way you play it. The fact that you have to actually go to a command line and actually let me see something. I have Steam open right now. Like theoretically, if I were to add a non-Steam game, browse. Let's see this. Home. Projects. I'm gonna promote this to the Cozy Cabin game folder at some point. But let's just go to projects. Okay, come on, really? You're not gonna. There we go. Cozy and ASCII engine. What file types are you looking for? Pick a game to add. Oh, is it only selecting a folder? Is it not looking for like a executable file or something? Oh no, it is. It's looking for a dot. Yeah, no, all files. There we go. Add selected programs. Yep. Where are you? Alright, look at this game, guys. It's running somewhere. I don't know where though. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening with it. Where it's running. Something's happening. Amazing game, yeah, fantastic. 10 out of 10. Thank you. Yeah, is it trying to run with like compatibility or something? It does it even know what kind of application it is? That's probably why. It doesn't know what type of file it is. Like if you go to that dialog again for adding a non-Steam game, what was it looking for? What was the file extensions it was looking for? Yeah, it's looking for like a. Okay, if I do .sh, let's try that out actually. Let's try that out. So let's change this to be a .sh file to, I don't know, game.sh. Alright, now Steam, with this information privy to you, will you recognize my game.sh? I can't like I can't move it to be like, hey, confirm. Okay, we're just gonna remove it, I think. No, it's selected. Okay, let's just remove this one. Properties. Yeah, this would be a lot better. Let me actually move this to a normal monitor. I'm sorry, what? Oh, there we go, there we go. Yeah, but I don't think it's gonna work. Launch options enable Steam overlay in game, include VR. It's not using compatibility. Yeah, I think just Steam doesn't like having a terminal application. Let me remove non-Steam game from your library. Yeah, and let's try this again. Let's just see. Let's one last time. One last time. For the fun, for the lull, for the haha. Hey, it never remembers it in recents. Add selected programs. Okay. And it's game.sh. I guess it's not running, dude. It's not working. Now I feel inclined to make this work now, dude. A new terminal and executes the game. You're right. I should just make a. I should just do that, or better yet, I'll write a whole terminal emulator in OpenGL just to run this game. 1 second. I feel like I'm thinking. I'm processing. What does my build script do? Yeah, first of all, we're gonna change this to game.sh. But no, it doesn't do anything special, does it? It does not do anything special. It's not like this lacks some kind of privilege and we're doing some kind of Chon or chmod thing. No, we're not doing that, so it's not the fault of that. So if that's not the case, I wonder, like, I mean, let me try something to try and make this work. So we have, let's make we're gonna have a launcher for our ASCII game. Launcher .sh. Is that, I'm using a Ergodox keyboard. Here you go. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna Google something. Default terminal app on Linux. How do you launch a default terminal app on Linux? Fantastic. There's no standard for knowing what the default terminator is across. Okay, actually, better question. Linux launch default launch terminal through terminal. That's so, like, this is the dumbest question ever I'm asking. Linux launch terminal. Oh, they're gonna give you the shortcut though. They're not gonna give you the actual, like, yeah, they're just gonna give you keybinds, not a command to do that, because you're gonna need a terminal to launch a command. Oh, can I open a new terminal window from a terminal in Linux? No, they're gonna give you the shortcut. No, I want a command. X terminator. Can you just launch X terminal emulator? Can you do that? X terminal emulator. It opened a new instance. So we can open a term. You can open it up, right? Now the question is, can we? Does it accept arguments for like a command? And we need an absolute. That's not gonna quite work because you need a. We need to like get it to the absolute value of the directory we're working at. And I think when I do that, it's not gonna do it. Yeah, it's gonna open up at like root. So that's not gonna work. And it's just a command. Yeah, but if I want this to run on other people's machines, I want to make sure I can at least find the a solid way to get it running. Xterm. Oh. Now, question. Here's an important question. Can I do xterm game.sh? Oh, you need an absolute path, don't you? Oh, you suck. It's not going to be a relative path. But there is a way, though. There is a way. I'm just gonna test something out. Is it doing things different just because it's a shell extension? Yeah, no, it's not. Okay, cool. GNOME terminal. Okay, that runs. And I guess most Ubuntu installs are gonna have GNOME terminal on them. But is not running, is not taking my arguments. Makes me very sad. Okay, we're gonna have to figure something out here. In the absolute path. We can do that. Oh, I want this to work on people's machines. Well, you can't do that. You can do that, right? I just need to not be lazy and figure out how to actually get absolute path and pipe it in programmatically. Let me see something. Alright, import, yeah. Or you know, actually, I'm curious about something. Well, before one last query for the night. Because this is turning into another rabbit hole. Is there another extension I should be using? If not, we'll just do a shell that opens up, a shell script that opens up a deval thing. Nah, application, app image. We're not doing app image. Unless what was that? What was the thing? It was that application, right? Lowercase application. This is a dumb little attempt. Why not? We're like at the end of the stream, kind of. Why not go to, why not do some dumb stuff while you're at it? Okay. I appear to have selected it. Okay, add selected programs. Yeah, it's not working. Okay, it's just working in the background. I have to figure some way to make this work on Steam. What's a CWD command? This is peak program stream while programming. Let's go, dude. What's the playlist? This is good vibes. I'll send it to you. Yeah, guys, this is what I've been listening to all stream. So I'll link you guys this playlist. I dig it. It's a perfect vibes for this kind of thing. Yeah, what is CWD? What is CWD? Chronic wasting disease. I don't think that's the correct thing. Oh, current working directory? That makes more sense. It's ready variable echo PWD. Oh, you can just print that out. Okay, so here's the biggest thing here. I don't know how to do shell scripting. Oh, so well, welcome to the Discord. Glad to have you. Hey, glad to have you, man. Monsi, welcome, dude. Not only to the Discord, but also the C Elite Master Race. Okay, maybe not Master Race. Elite. Yourself cozy here. And then people talking about how bad. What's going on here? If it's people talking about how modern web is terrible, then I'm always on board for it. Okay, we tried quite a bit of things to make this run on Steam. I think we're just gonna have to make our launcher. It's almost 3 o'clock. I need to go to sleep, guys. Not true enough. It's true. It's so true. It's the seed of all evil. Anyways, but yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're gonna call stream here. I had a blast today. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully, you guys you enjoyed. This game is coming together, dude. Game.application is coming together, guys. So we're gonna fix the rendering issues with the light sources. That's fixable. Yeah, that's super fixable. So we're gonna fix our rendering, our lighting system next stream probably, unless I'm actually trying to finish this game before my vacation, which I should probably do that. But yeah, I'm excited, dude. I'm super happy. And yeah, the code is on Codeberg too, but I'm not sure if you guys would actually want to use my repository. I do see in a very bad, weird way, so you know, it can open your third eye. It could be the ultimate downfall of your programming career. Who knows? But either way, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you had a good time. God bless. And until next time, stay cozy, y'all. Bye-bye.